You got to come on.
Okay, we should be live.
We are live, hopefully.
Yes.
It says we're live.
Yes, yep.
I feel like I'm
Wyatt.
crouched down in a chair. I like my mic coming up from underneath for some reason.
Yeah.
But anyway, what up, guys? This is Coach Jimmy with Tech Talk. We went live today. We're doing an open mat here at Tect Center at 3:30. If you guys are sitting on the couch not doing nothing today, come train with us. Everybody in the area, man, like you're like an hour and a half away. Get off the couch. Come train. It's a no-brainer. We're gonna have a whole room full of people that are competing at what's it called, Mr. Nate?
South Georgia Submissions number 2, I believe, is just what they're calling it.
South Georgia Submissions. Also today I have my friend Wyatt Montgomery.
What's up?
And my you know the man himself, Nate Cason from Cason Productions. I think that's the name of it. Cason Visual Productions.
Yes.
Look at me messing up names and
You
stuff.
good?
We got the fights on as well.
Oh, we got the fight sitting on the table here. We're gonna be watching right now. Misha Tate getting. I don't know what's happening actually, but anyway, guys, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody come train today. We wanted to go live. We were supposed to have a special guest, but something happened with his kid and he couldn't make it. So he's gonna make it next week. So we decided to go live real quick and just kind of let you guys know
I can't
what
wait
we're
for
doing.
that.
Talk about. I wanted to talk about like training in general and like how you guys are training and stuff, and talk about all the things that you're doing up and coming and just that, because we were just looking before this thing started and you were showing me how you break down your notes and stuff. I used to keep a notebook. Like every time I learned something new, I'd keep a notebook and I'd just write it in my junk notebook. And then I had 5 other notebooks. Actually, I think they're in this room, actually. I actually think
They're
they're
over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they are over there. But so I had 5 notebooks, and one of them was passing. One of them was back control, or it was like controls. I haven't done it in like 4 years, but it was like control. That was the whole notebook was control, but mostly what I put in there was back control. So I had passing, I had control, then I had submissions, like subs. And then I had a notebook that was flows. And everything was like everything that flowed together and how it flowed together, which was my main notebook. And then I had a notebook that I just didn't know where it fit in yet. So I had my junk notebook, which is as I was learning it, I wrote it down. But then when I got my thoughts together about it and like tried to learn it in the right way and just didn't know where it fit into my game yet, it went into the other notebook.
I bet you learn so much more faster doing it that way. Like more mental reps.
Yeah, and like having to write it down and like really articulate so that someone else, and that was my goal. It wasn't shorthand. Like my junk notebook, when I wrote it down, it was shorthand for me to remember and for me to understand. But my actual notebooks was like if somebody else picked it up, they should be able to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I try to do mine in like a step-by-step to somebody that doesn't know anything, so I can remember exactly what I was thinking about that when I look at it or whatever. But
yeah, and that's how you get better. And I try to tell people that all the time. I try to tell them like, dude, we gotta do better. Like we gotta get here. You gotta start thinking about this outside of class, not just the 30 minutes that you're repping inside class. Because our hour class, we do 5 or 10 minutes of stretch. We do stretching, warm ups. We get on the lesson. You learn 2 moves during the day. Then we do our live reps, and then class is over, and then we roll. Like we bow out and then roll, and that's how we're set up. That's what we do it that way because I feel like live rolling or live reps of the move is important for people to figure out like the little nuances of the move. And it's funny though, like thinking about the way that you train in that way. That's how I do it, and you're doing it like on your phone with
Notes.
Like notes. So when'd you start doing that?
Probably ever since I opened the gym. Yeah, it's just really convenient.
Did it help during the process while you was becoming a coach, or is it just something you just decided you needed to do because you're not training as much?
Well, like
with your coach,
I like writing stuff more on paper.
Get close to that.
Okay.
Bro.
I'm trying to figure out what you were trying to say. Yeah, I like writing stuff on paper more than like texting out. I guess I'm like always like around no paper most of the time because I'm traveling or something like that. So I just write it in my notes.
Awesome. And like you were saying that you started learning faster and stuff like that. The benefit
cut
of it.
you off. Can you see that? Crazy.
The muscle spasm.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
He's having a muscle spasm in his. Did it help though? Like you were saying it helped, but like in what way? Like for me, it was just mental reps and like doing it. But like, are you getting any other benefits? It's just something you want to do.
No, that's just something I wanted to do.
He's watching the fight, guys. But what about you, Nate?
Mine is more so like so I can visualize it later, cause like once I see it, I kind of understand it. But like breaking it down is what I like to like make notes because, you know, I'll see a move that we'll drill on a Tuesday 2 months ago, and I'll be thinking about it, and I want to get the details exactly right while I'm trying to go through it in my head.
So y'all are gonna laugh at me, but like I did a lot of kickboxing and stuff when I was a kid. I just don't remember shit. Like that's why I started it. Like I just don't remember. Like I don't remember things that happen a lot of times. That's why I don't argue about people when people are like, no, that's not what happened. This is what happened. I'm like, okay, because I really don't remember in that way.
This is true.
Yeah. No, I remember that night. I remember you getting knocked out by Twyla. I'm going to let the world know about that.
Oh, son.
Look, if she ever tells me she's coming down here, I'm locking the door. She hit you hard.
Hey, if you need a kickboxing coach, I got you.
Just playing. But, I just don't remember things, and that's why I started writing it down. But doing that, it allowed me, like I started finding other benefits in it. When I was going to my coaches to train, I would stay like 2 weeks behind in my notebook, and I would literally just open my notebook, flip 2 weeks ago, and like, what did we learn? I don't like that. What did we learn? Oh, I'm going to try that today. So while everybody else is learning the new move and their mind is focused on the new move, I focused on the move while we were drilling it and while we were doing a live drill. But when it come time to roll, I had already looked back in my book and had some other things in mind. Because when everybody's rolling, what do? They want to do the move or do the cool thing that they learned or whatever they learned today.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that gets shut down. Like it doesn't work because
everybody knows.
Everybody's focused. Everybody's thinking about it. They're like, you're not doing that to me. It's like, yeah. But today I'm going to hit you with this nice hip hoss to, the rat guard or whatever that I just learned from Nate. Like, I'm going to hit you with this hip hoss to 100% or whatever it is that I learned 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And you'll find that if you do that, you find a lot more success.
I agree.
Yeah, that's kind of what, because like you said, going back a couple of weeks, I'm very visual in my head. Like you can tell me something and I kind of visualize it to think about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm that way.
So like the points help me to kind of, I'll be hitting it in my head, with all the bullet points, and that's what I got to do to pull it back up or whatever. So yeah.
I mean that's how you learn, right? In school, how do they teach people to learn? Like for real, how do they teach people to learn in school? They make you memorize it, which is like you read it a bunch, right? Mm-hmm. You look at it. So if you're writing it down, so that's one way you're writing it down. Another way, you're reading it back to yourself. The third way, you're doing it. So it's almost like you have to write the blueprint or you have to create the blueprint. Then you have to read the blueprint. And then you have to actually do the blueprint. And that's why I like it, is because doing that is actually making you a better grappler. Is you're learning faster. Misha, take one. Nope, they're both holding their hands up.
I don't think so.
They're both holding their hands up.
I don't think so.
I just kind of glanced over. But yeah, so there's the 3 ways of learning. And when I realized that, it was just like an aha moment for me. I started like getting better a lot faster because my jiu-jitsu was working now.
Do you think that like the junk notebook you was talking about, where you actually are doing that, writing it down, reading it out, and copying it again twice? Do you think that gives you like an extra step?
It does, and the cool thing is like having to think about how to. So the junk notebook is like my personal notebook. Mm-hmm. If I want to go see what I was thinking right when I learned it, that's the way. And a lot of people can stop it there. But for me, rewriting it, because I've always wanted to be a coach, I wanted people to understand it. That rewriting it, that second time, but trying to articulate it in a way for another person to understand it, that right there is like hard. And when you do that, you learn.
Why not record it?
I do. If there's a date in my notebook, that means there's a recording on my hard drive for it.
Do you learn differently? Is there like a different mindsets of like approaching like homework, should you call it, versus like writing the notes down, learning it that way versus, watching the film back in your...
Yeah, and so like I said, I put a date. It's really, y'all asked me why I use a date. Nobody did, but I'm going to answer that question. This is why I use the date. If it has a date in the notebook, that means there's a video associated with the date. If I go on my computer, it doesn't matter where I stored it at, as long as my external hard drive or my hard drives are plugged up, and I type in that date, it brings up all the videos I uploaded from that day. And it's just there because I don't upload videos unless it has something to do with what we done. So it's a real easy it's real easy to like find the videos and like keep track of them. And I just literally had at one point it was Dropbox. I had Dropbox synced to my phone. Then I had OneDrive synced to my phone. But now I have a little USB. I plug it into my phone and just dump all my videos on my phone like there. So when we do our little recording, I actually have a gimbal, and now I'm all like professional with it and stuff. But usually most people, they just take their phone, point it at them.
That's what I was gonna say. You haven't always done that.
So no, it was just my phone. Like I just pointed my phone at them and record with my phone, and then Dropbox would upload it. It would just get uploaded to my Dropbox, and then I'd have it on my computer. And that was how I started out. But then that got expensive because you got to buy, like, more Dropbox crap. So then I just started finding other ways to put it on a computer. One of the ways was just plug your phone in, click phone, move the file. Yeah. And I do that too. But like I said, ever since I started, when I first started, they didn't have phones, and I didn't record. I wrote everything down. Now, like, I'm older. We got better technology. I started recording stuff with phones. Back in the day, we didn't have it. We just we didn't get like picture phones until what, like 2005, 2006, maybe 2000. It was like 2002, maybe. Like I did not. I think we had
had flip phones in 2002
with a camera. I think we got those my senior year, like because I graduated in 2002.
I was 4, by the way. I mean, I'm saying it like I officially knew.
Yeah, but no, like it was. I don't even think you could record videos on those camera phones. Like, I think it was just taking pictures. It was like a silver phone with like a little camera, and it was amazing.
And if you did, like, it would look like
shot it with a potato.
Yeah, like you shot it with a potato. You couldn't understand what was going on.
But anyway, that was the point. Is like, I wrote in my notebook, but then when I got farther along and cameras got better on phones, I recorded, and now I have record like a lot of records of the training and things like that, and I still have a lot of that stuff. I still have stuff from when Scott Harper beat one of Pavlovic's, I don't know how to say his name, but black belts. I still have videos from that. Like that long ago. I have stuff that, like, the triangles and things like those basic like hand fighting triangle type stuff. I still have all that stuff from like way back then. And I remember when Matthew Waller, Scott Harper, Cole Miller, and like all those guys like came together. I wasn't a part of their circle at all. But I remember when Scott was doing all that stuff and I was trying to do it over here with like a bunch of backwood guys and stuff. And then a few years later, like Bobby moved down and I started training with him. And then a few years later, I started like, I met Cam and Speedy and they were coming to Scott's up there in the loft. Like, I remember all of that stuff. And when I think about it, it's like, man, look how far we've come from that, from like training in an attic to here. Like, it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's how I learned. Long story short.
That's nice.
I took notes and then I started recording and then the dates. So, yeah, and the dates help, dude. Because when you get like a bunch of videos, just having the date. And the Windows, what does Windows do? It stores it by date already.
Yeah, like you don't even have to make an extra step. Like it's just
there. It's just by the date.
Date modified or whatever.
Yeah, it's just there. So date modify. It has the date of the video and then like the upload date too. Mm-hmm. It has both. So it's just like there it is. And it helps. But the reason I brought it up is your notes are so detailed with bullet points and like the flows.
Oh yeah.
Like mine was different notebooks and things like that, but yours was like the name of the move. It was like the name of the move you're going to, the name of the move that you want to get off of that, or like a flow chart.
That's exactly what it is. And I'm a huge freak of like systems in my head. Like that's all I kind of think about. That's kind of like when you're like, when you're writing notes. Like in my mind, I'm just trying to flow things together. So like if I learned something like 3 weeks ago, I'm trying to put it with what I learned today, especially if it flows together, shoulder crunch into a ham sandwich or whatever, So that's something I've been playing with. Like, for example, what you had seen was like a ham sandwich, and then when they pull back to defend, push, pull right into a knee cut, simple things like that. So that's kind of how my mind works when I write notes, is I try to flow things together and try to create systems at all the techniques.
Yeah, and see, that's what we were talking about in class last night, right? Yeah. It's like, that's exactly what we were talking about in class. Was like, okay, when you do something and you're like, all right, this is this guard pass or whatever. It's like, now what can I do? Let's look around. Let's look at where we can go or how we can get into the things that we're thinking about. How do I enter someone into my loop? And I think that's what a lot of people miss in their jiu-jitsu is they don't create loops. They don't create infinity loops. Like all of my stuff that I do, I try to loop it back. It's like, well, this is where they're going to go. Well, they can go this way or this way. All right, if they go this way, what loop do I have? Yeah. If they go this way, what loop do I have? Once I get them into that loop, we're just going to keep looping until I get the finish. Yeah. Or, until they do something extremely like athletic or like they survive and squares back up and we got to start over, which happens. There's some really good, strong guys out there, some really good technical guys that are good at escapes and stuff. But for the thought process of it, that is what I want to happen. And I think that a lot of guys don't think in that way. They don't do that. And I think that that's what sets us apart a lot. Yeah. I honestly think that's why we got people traveling 2 or 3 hours to come train with us, because of the way we systemize everything. And you're doing it too. I seen it in your notes. So it's really cool to watch, man. It's to watch how it's changing. Like jiu-jitsu's just growing so much and so fast right now.
Yeah, the next big thing. I truly believe that.
I do too. Do you think that that it's getting too far though? Like, the big debate right now is
it's in Olympics now, 2024.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's getting too far. People are practicing jiu-jitsu to like for the sport of jiu-jitsu, at what point does it become like
I don't think self-defense would ever grow as big a sport.
Anything. Yeah.
Right, and I'm not even just talking about self-defense. See, jiu-jitsu started as a way to fight, as a complete system.
Yeah.
And there are people that are teaching jiu-jitsu right now, and it's annoying me because they're teaching it and they're saying, oh, you don't strike in jiu-jitsu. Like, there are no strikes in jiu-jitsu. But you go back and watch any of the Gracie challenges. What are they doing?
Yeah.
They're that front shin kick that John Jones got so famous for.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Gracies was doing that stuff in the 90s, bro.
Yeah, and they were really big on like almost like combat jiu-jitsu, the open hand, just like popping you to get you to move, kind of. I mean,
Right.
that was full contact though.
And it changes the way you roll. Think about it. Would you grab and do a muscle man on my ankle if I could just drop my knee in your face, or like just open hand slap you in your face?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would change the way you roll. And that's what I'm asking. At what point does all this new stuff, I see it happening now, and this is why I brought it up. I see guys being amazed by the traditional stuff. I see guys that act like they've never seen like some of the like traditional over-under stuff, or like, I'm just using that as an example. I just pulled that out of thin air. But like, I'm seeing guys that are amazed at traditional jiu-jitsu now, and it's like, no, that's what I've been trying to tell you from this time before. It's just crazy to me, like, that people like it haven't seen certain things. I just expect them to know it. Steven and I was talking about that recently, and I was like, yeah, I get it, like, because I just expect them to know these little things. But then I realized, like, no, well, wait a minute. You haven't explained that to these white and blue belts yet. Or these guys haven't been around this long. They haven't seen this. So you're having to go back and teach some basic, like, elbow pinch or some basic thing to get them caught up. And it's like, man, we've been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah, how do you go about that? Because like jiu-jitsu as a system gets like, as it gets bigger and bigger, like you can only teach so many things every class to these new guys. Like, how do you how do you make it? Yeah, like how do you condense it without doing that? Like, you know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
You want to answer that first? You're a coach.
Dude, you can take one technique and throw 10,000 variations or setups or feints or whatever you want about it. You know, there's so many concepts. You can speak about mindset of the technique. I mean, there's you can make one thing and turn it into like a month's worth of like.
So this is the system that I've been doing, and I've been doing this for like maybe 3 years now. So this is the system that I've been doing. The first week, so we do a month of whatever it is.
Yeah.
We do a month of whatever it is. So like passing, we're doing a month of passing. And I'll just use this month's lesson plan. We're starting out with the concept. What is my goal? My goal is to get past the legs. That's it. So how do we pass the legs? Well, we push on the foot, push on the knee, push the knees. There's a billion ways. There's so many. Huh?
Bam Bam showed up.
Hey, what up, man? But yeah, there's so many different ways to clear the legs. But the concept is the same. We clear the legs. So I'll go over this big, broad spectrum of sometimes I do this, sometimes I do this, sometimes I do this. You guys play with that. Like, use your own mind, because I don't want to teach a bunch of mini-me's or a bunch of robots. And I think that that's a huge problem that most schools do, is like they teach them, put your hand here, put your elbow here, drive your shoulder, pull the knee across, grab the hip, like climb them. Like they teach this step-by-step, whatever, point your forehead here, wiggle your pinky finger. Like whatever it is that they're teaching, they teach it in this step. And it's like, yeah, but what? You're not teaching your student to think. You're not teaching them to think for themselves and feel what's happening, to feel the minor shifts in the knee or the minor shifts in the hip or the angle change in your body. The leverage change. And when you're not teaching them that and you're just teaching them motions, they're memorizing the motions because that's how they've been taught to train or to think or to study their whole life, is let me memorize this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the problem. If I get you to memorize this specific thing during these specific set of circumstances, like, it's like, this is it. Like, you have to meet all these requirements for this move to work.
Yeah.
But if I teach you the movement and the motion and why and the concepts, like teach you all of that before we even get started in the move, you start understanding it on a deeper level. You start getting better. And that's why we have all these mat chats and these different thought processes and stuff in our school. And it really does change. It's the reason why my guys are like understanding it and getting it. And that's why more of them are going off and doing their own thing and getting these jobs and like doing stuff at other schools, is because everybody's like, I like the way you think. Well, it's because I teach all of my students to think. Mm-hmm. I teach all of them to use their mind in a way that most schools don't. They just want you to do what they're asking you to do the way that you're asking them to do it. And I think that's a huge flaw in jiu-jitsu. I really do. I think that you have to learn why you're doing something, and then start understanding when it works, and then try to make it work when it shouldn't work, and like figure that out. And it's like, all right, if it don't work, why isn't it working? Oh, well, they're doing this or this. So if they're doing this or this, it's probably better to do this. And now you're building an entire concept system, a thought process system of getting better.
I like what you said last night when we talked about it. You know, like, what's the problem here? Okay, here's the solution. Okay, let's go from here to there. Where's the problem at now? Well, here's the solution here, you know? So, long story short, I like the way you put it in terms of last night, you know?
Yeah, no. But that's what in class, that's what we talked about, right? Last night. And I'm really starting to really, really look at that side of it. And it's so hard to teach that, though. You know why? Everybody wants you to tell them. This mic is just moving. Everybody wants you to tell them what to do. They want you to go, oh, knee slide. Oh, take the back. Oh, chair sit. Oh, well, like, it's like, oh, ham sandwich. It's like, no, dude. Like, you have to feel it coming, and you have to, like, know why, when, where, how. Like, you have to figure this out for yourself.
Well, that's what failure comes into play, you know? Got to fail a lot.
Yeah, but that's also the long way of learning too, right? Like, think about that. If you come into jiu-jitsu, you come in, and the coach showing you a move, shows you another move, a robotic move. This is the way. Obviously, I teach robotic moves too. Don't get it twisted. But I teach it, and then I teach the concept, then I teach the robotic moves the next week. Then I teach when to break those moves, and then the last week is like, all right, now we're just going to give reactions, do it live, and let you guys do it. But anyway, point is you're forgot the point. I'm just playing. No, so the point is like you're learning in a way that allows you to think. And if you're thinking and you're doing it on your own, it stays with you more. Think about it. You come up with a move yourself, and people are like, man, look at this move I come up with. And I do this a lot, and I'm like, yeah, I've seen that before. But when my guys are like, man, I've been playing with this, and I keep ending up here, and this is what keeps happening, and I started doing this, I'm like, man, that's a really good job. Like, dude, that is awesome that you're pinning the knee to the mat right there with a stiff arm. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man, you're doing good. Like, that, where can we go from there? And they start thinking on their own. Dude, people get really creative, and they start using the jiu-jitsu that you are teaching them in ways that you didn't even think about. And then it's like, I never thought about that. Let me start trying to do that. And now my jiu-jitsu is getting better, faster. It's a slow way to learn, to come in and learn a set of moves, then just go hard on each other and try to break each other. It's slow. It slows down your progress. It's like I should be able to trust my training partner with my arm. I should be able to trust my training partner with my neck. If I can't trust them with my neck, then we're not really training. Now we're fighting each other.
Yeah.
It's like, and when I say that, a lot of schools like, yeah, they should trust it. They should let me tap. They should do this. And it's like, no, you didn't hear what I said. Like, if I know you're going to snatch on my neck or snatch up your guillotines or snatch your arm bars up every chance you get, then we're not really playing a game.
Yeah.
Like I'm having to stay safe the whole time. But if I can allow you to get in position to armbar me and then like I can finesse and try to figure out how to escape, or you get your finish, now we're playing a game. Sounds like I said the same thing, but not the way I'm thinking about it or the way that it's intended for you to think about. And what I mean by that is, like, if you are jerking and snatching and slamming or even just going hard every time we roll, and me being the 38-year-old man having to stop myself from getting injured because of the things you're doing, then we're not playing the game. We're not getting better. I can't trust you enough to stay safe physically to actually play the game.
Well, like you said, when you got to focus on, defending yourself, you just have to stick with your A-game stuff. Like, you can't play anything that you're trying to figure out or play the game to learn this new stuff. You having to go with like your A-game stuff and just stay safe, and that makes it a long time to get better, basically.
Yeah, because you're not playing. You're not trying anything new because you're trying to stay safe. And that plays on like your A-game stuff, like unless you're good enough. Because some people are just good enough that they can dominate and play because they're physically fit, they're strong, they're athletic, they recover faster. Whatever the reasons are, some people progress faster because they can play the game at those higher levels and like not get broken or not get whatever, and they progress. But what about the people that are 130 pounds or 140 pounds that just physically can't? They need this to get to that level. Or the guys that are 40 years old that need this, but they just can't get to that level. This is how. I'm telling you guys how. Understand the concepts, be able to play the game with your training partners, be able to do that, like in that way.
And
I agree.
And even those guys, like they may be able to but like you shouldn't be able to count on that because there's mats and there's rooms where you can't be that guy.
And you have to learn how to play the game to get better if you want to progress fast.
Yeah.
Now, if you just want to just do it forever and just put your body through hell and just grind every day, dude, by all means, that's what most schools do. And it's like, I just outlasted everybody. That's what I did. I just outlasted everybody to the point that I was like, all right, like I just kept showing up till like one day I just started like realizing how like I had gotten pretty good at this. But look at me and then look at all of my students. It took me legitimately, I've been training for 21 years. This year made 21 years. But with legitimate teams and around legitimate people, I'll say 2008. I got around like real legitimate people around 2008, right? So let's say I got around super legitimate people 2008. It took me from 2008 to 2002 today to get as good as I am now. But I got students that's been training with me for less than 5 years that are just as good as me or better, that are not super athletic. They're just they're just learning at a different pace. Yeah. They're learning at a different level because they're not having to come in and die every day. It's like, why? Look how great Wyatt's gotten in such a short amount of time. He's doing the work. He's going to these other schools. He's writing in his notebook. He's doing all of the things that I told him he needed to do it the first day.
Yeah,
like that's it. It's like he's doing the work. Nobody can take credit for the things that Wyatt's doing, but why? Because he's doing the work, but he's doing it in a way that's making him grow and get better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like nobody can take that away and nobody can take credit for it. Like you've done it, and you're still doing it. And that's what makes it so awesome is like, it's new, dude, but that's why these guys like your Gordon Ryan's and your Nicky Rods and your like, that's why they're like Boogie. Like, how fast did Boogie get his black belt? Like, think about that. And then think about, like, the hard lumps that the guys before them took in order to get that knowledge to teach them this new way of thinking about it to train. Yeah. Like, it gets quiet every time I quit talking. I'm, like, trying to fill space in but no, man, I think that's what separates everything, and we talk about it often, but I want you guys to start understanding the concepts and stuff, which brings me to another question, and this is for you guys to answer. What do you think about, like, your students, like your main guys or the guys that you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into? What do you think about them training at other places or like doing other stuff and like that type of thing?
I'm all in for cross training. Absolutely. I do it myself. Definitely on the nights I don't have classes or the nights that I can get a coach to fill. Oh, absolutely. I think cross training is very beneficial for growth, especially as a competitor. Especially if you want to compete, being in rooms that you don't know against guys you don't know. It's it's the same vibes and feeling that you can get walking across the mat, against a guy you don't know in a room full of people you might not know who's there, so it's a good way to look at it.
I almost think it's like necessary. I know everybody says it's good, but it's almost like Wyatt said, it's almost like something you need to do to get better, to see them new faces and new people and different looks, depending on how you look at that or whatever.
I also think that's how like BJJ is going to grow. It's so hard to get new people to get to one specific gym. If we can get like people for one specific gym traveling all the way around, you're just growing everywhere. So it works from the inside to outside. I think that's how BJJ is growing.
So here's what I think. I think it's necessary for people to get good, especially the coaches of the gyms, at minimum. Mm-hmm. So, like, if your guys aren't cross-training, the coach better be or should be. Because how is he going to help if he's always the best one in the room? And let's just pretend, like, when I opened my school here, I'm like, it was nothing but white belts. Like, there was everybody in my school was white. There was no adopting people from other schools. Eastman is in the middle of nowhere. It's literally the center of Georgia. Like, it's the center. And the next closest place to train is an hour and a half away, right? And at one point, it was 2.5 hours. Like, there's just nowhere. So if I'm showing up and I'm training inside my school Monday through Friday against white belts, I can get away with so many things that I shouldn't be able to get away with. I can teach stuff and show stuff and I'm like, yeah, man, this works. But at what level does it stop working? You don't know. And you're not going to know, and you're not going to find out until competition. Well, that's stupid. Well, how often do you compete? Some people never compete. Some people stay in their little small schools and they don't cross-train and they don't go do anything, and they never get any better. They're just showing up, well, this works in my school. Like, this works. This will work in the street, and that's good enough. Or they go, like, to a get-together twice a year, and then they're like, oh, man, that was so cool. I learned this and this. So you're learning 2 moves a year when you could literally go twice a month to your coaches or to another school and get better. Like, it's that easy. I think at bare minimum, the coach better be learning or better be picking up new knowledge or something. Yep. Bare minimum. Or the school's not going to be very good, not going to be very competitive at all.
I agree completely.
At what point is it not cross-training, though? Like, let's say there's a school 25 minutes from here. My school's open Monday through Friday. You decide to go over there 2 days a week. Is that cross training, or are you deciding to train somewhere else? Right, like that's the question.
Yeah.
No,
want it.
I agree with it.
You think that's okay?
I do.
So it's not competition. See, you're a school owner. So if all of your guys decided they're gonna train with you. Yeah, all of your guys, they're gonna train with you. They're gonna train with you Monday and Friday. That's it. And then they're going to train at a school across town Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You okay with that?
Yeah. I believe I am, because at the end of the day, you have to trust your students. There's got to be trust there. But secondly, if how can I put this? I'm still getting paid. It's still my students. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
All right. So they're taking your jiu-jitsu and making another school better.
If that's the mindset of, if that's the way you're looking at it.
That's your perception, right? Yeah, okay. I was just curious. Not for any other reason that I would be completely okay with that. Like, I want my guys bringing stuff back into my school and making us better. But if we got competition and stuff like that coming up, I want my guys in the room to help. But at the end of the day, my job is to coach. I don't own anybody. At the end of the day, but if I want them to be loyal. I want them to look at me as their coach. I want them to want to come and get knowledge from me. But at the end of the day, like, it's on them, right?
Yeah, it is. So, like,
what about this weekend?
Yeah, I was just gonna plug that while Jimmy's gone. South Georgia Submissions this weekend. It's coming up weekend, Nashville, Georgia. I believe Wyatt's gonna be on it.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah.
I am. Co-main event.
Okay, sweet. Co-main event. Have you got some guys on it too? Like
I do. I have one of my assistant coaches, Seth Bounds. I'm really, really interested and really can't wait to watch him compete. We've been working on some stuff, and can't wait to let him show everybody it. I got Sam Morris, and then
he competed in the last one.
Yeah, he did. It was a draw. But he controlled the match. He did really, really well, and that was his first time ever competing in BJJ. He's a wrestler, so
that's sweet.
Yeah, so it's the first time ever competing in BJJ, and I'm really proud the way he slowed things down. Wrestlers can run through that wall a lot, so the way he slowed things down for a 10-minute match was really impressive for me, especially with a short period of time of him training. And then I might have one more, Brandon Brown, competing. Okay. We're looking for him an opponent. So I'm real interested in seeing him compete. So
yeah, if y'all know anybody, get with us. We'll get it going. But yes, it's in Nashville. I don't know the exact time yet, but I believe the last one was around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, something like that. That'll be posted obviously before the event. But we're gonna be there. We're gonna run the stream. I believe we're gonna have Steven is main event on that thing. I believe him and Josh
Hopper.
So that's gonna be a match.
Can't wait for that one.
Yeah. And anything else I was thinking of?
They got a couple of interesting matches on there. I can't wait for the Mark Horn's match.
Okay.
This guy looks like he's gonna be a beast.
Yeah, I've actually rolled with him. It's been years ago, but he's always good.
Mark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mark's very tough.
And dude, he was supposed to be in the last one and ended up like falling out, I believe. I don't want to say, but I believe it was sickness or family something. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
It's gonna be good though, man. It's the last one was the first one we did was amazing, and we taking some stuff, we building on some stuff that we kind of missed, and we making it better.
Are you doing anything differently this go around?
It's going to be a little different. We haven't ironed all the details out yet, but I believe we're going to have, instead of the one gimbal, I believe we're going to have two, like we do the Mid-South Classics and stuff. Nice. Yeah. So we should, if all goes like I want it to go, we should have 2 cameras so we can get the angles of the action, really good on both sides, movable. And we'll have, just as good production, just as good. We're going to light it up a little better. We last time we didn't know what we was walking into, so some stuff you know that you go back what to bring. So we're going to light it up a little better. I know it was kind of dark on the stream a little bit.
I believe there's going to be a walk-up songs too, so that's pretty cool.
We may get with that. We tried that last time, and they helped a lot, the guys from the VFW, but they was kind of in charge of that last time.
Yeah.
So we may take that from them if we have a guy we can put on a Spotify playlist or something like that. But I know that we're going to do some of that stuff. It's going to be on BMAX channel this time. That's nice. That's the big change as far as from the consumer standpoint. It should still be free and all that, but it'll be a different channel you have to go to find it. But it should give it more exposure. We'll share it. Everybody will have it floating around and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, I'm excited. It's going to be a all out thing. I'm happy to see, especially the sub only grow in this area. Because not that long ago, sub only, like you saw it in Jacksonville or Atlanta or something like that. And, Steven, obviously, with the Mid-South Classics kind of helped it come over here. But Nashville, Georgia, having a match like that in the main events and stuff.
Absolutely. So much more exciting.
It is, because it's exciting, man. You can go, just go watch it. It's an hour away for me. About an hour away. I mean, if I wasn't going to run it, I'd at least go watch. I know he's selling tickets and all that kind of stuff.
How much are the tickets?
$10, I believe.
I believe so. I believe it's $10 at the door. I don't know if that's kind of.
You get to watch people choke people out for $10. Like, how cool is that? Like,
at the VFW.
At the VFW. I think that's what we're going to start doing at the Strange Matter. Is just trying to do something like that, for the people that come in, but mostly doing that so that we can give out better stuff. I don't want to take any money from it. I just want to give it back to the people that are driving to compete. So I think it's a good idea, because then it takes that door money and puts it into a competitor's pocket.
Nice.
And I've spent money at every Strange Matter Invitational.
Yeah. And that's one thing, a lot of people don't know, is it's hard to get money into competitors' pockets, because even super chats and stuff, YouTube gets a big percent of that, 30% or something. And trying to figure out a good way to do that for the fans to support their guys, their local guys, or their gym partners, training partners, or whatever. There's no really good way to do it, but if you did like Coach Jimmy's talking about at the door, that's 100% or whatever you got, And
every one of ours, we do match of the night, which gives money to 2 competitors. We do submission of the night, which gives that money to that. Then winner of each division, and we just give them all the entry fees. I actually spend money every time I do it. But I enjoy watching it so much, and it's so fun, and I'm a fan of grappling in that manner, and that's why I do it. I definitely don't do it because I make any dang money.
Mm-mm.
Speaking this weekend, the matches, you excited for any particular ones?
Dude, I'm excited to see Steven's match.
Oh, I think everybody is.
That's gonna be everybody's hyping that thing up.
It's funny because the way Steven's cutting promos and stuff.
Oh, that's great, dude. That's great.
I love it. I love the fact that he's doing that. But I'm excited to see Caitlin.
Is she back in it?
Yeah. I was talking to Jay yesterday. But what I'm excited about is her last match. She's only 15.
Yeah.
Caitlin's 15. She went against a blue belt and took him down. And got inside control and couldn't finish.
Yeah.
And then they kept putting her back in half, and she kept trying to pass. She'd get there, and then she'd get put in half. She'd pass, get put in half. She didn't have any attacks or kills from there. and she come back and she like worked really hard to have some finishes from all of those positions without me like saying she needed to do it. She's just been kind of picking stuff up.
Yeah.
And it lit a fire under her because like in that tournament, if you don't submit your opponent within 10 minutes,
It's a draw.
Y'all both lost.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's a double loss. Like y'all both lost. That, and, you know, there's a draw. Like no, you didn't. You didn't win, so you lost. Man, she didn't like it. So
do you? How do y'all like that style of match? Like, do you think it gives an incentive to go for the finish more so than like in overtime?
So many guys are so good at defending that they will defend for 10 minutes. You know.
Yeah.
So and just wait for EBI. You know, I've seen that way too many times.
yeah.
You know? Now, you know, knowing that there's going to be a draw at the end of the match gives you the incentive to want to say, hey, I got to get this kill. Like there's
or
no
lose.
Yeah.
Or
So
lose,
yeah. So that's just a boost for guys to want to go out there and get that kill.
Yeah, I think that doing it that way is the way in a lot of ways. But I also like the EBI because it gives a definitive winner. In the end, it's like you couldn't escape, or your escapes aren't as good as the other guys.
Okay, so what do we do? How do we give a precise winner at the end? What kind of rule set or what kind of method would it take to say, hey, would it be just one round of I don't know, like an extra 2 minutes of BJJ, or what can we do in overtime to say, hey, okay, this guy was just better. It wasn't just, okay, he got a lucky back escape or whatever. This guy was better. So what can we do past regulation to say, hey, this guy was better?
And see, I think that's where the problem comes in a lot of ways is you don't. Because think about that. If I'm better at escaping than I am finishing.
But what rule set or method is there that you can say?
Right now, I think EBI is the best. I think that what I really like about
what if I'm better than you in everything else and you're just better at me at that position?
I'm better because you didn't finish me in 10 minutes.
Well, that's the argument to be made. See what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying is like when you think about it in that manner, it's like you had 10 minutes to do.
My guys are here.
Nice. You had 10 minutes to do all the things that you planned on doing and you couldn't do them. And now you have a chance to finish me on my back.
But there's a lot
and then I have a chance to finish you.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right. Then I have a chance to finish you. So we both get full on and we say, who's better right here? Because now I have a chance to finish you. And now you have a chance to finish me. Who does it faster? If we wait till the very end and none of your shit worked, but then I beat you in that, the only way I think like we didn't decide who the better guy was in that little scenario is the ones that nobody finishes anybody. And it goes all the way through time, and then it's like 5 or 6 seconds difference.
I think that fits in a scenario if it was a perfect match and both guys were like going after it offensively at each other. But, you know, scenarios to where like somebody might be defending till overtime, or, you know, when two guys get tired, there's not much kills, you know, being attempted or whatever. So there's a lot of scenarios playing into that. So when you abide into those, you know, scenarios and you get into overtime, of course, you know, majority of the time the guy with the best back mount wins, you know. So we can't say takedown wins it because someone's going to be a better wrestler. We can't say, okay, 2 more minutes, or we could say 2 more minutes, but what happens if there's no kill after 2 minutes, you know? So what method is there to say, okay, in overtime, this guy was still superior?
Yeah, I think I truly think that this is the best way. I can't think of any other way other than just running the match back with no time limit.
Exactly, yeah.
And people are going to game the rules. That's the sad thing is that people are going to game the rules no matter what the rules are, right? If I know that you're the better grappler, but I'm better at EBI, I'm going to drag you into EBI. It's your job to use your shit.
Yeah, I agree.
It's your job to finish me.
You're just playing the game.
I get
it.
But that's what I'm saying is like that's the best thing in the world is like we get to see this. But what I like about Jays, and this is why I like Jays, it's a one-off. You don't have no other match today.
Yeah.
Like, so you don't have to worry about conserving energy for those next matches. I think that PGF, if they could stretch that shit out to where everybody only had one match and do it for 2 weeks, dude, I think that they would have more competitors. Mm-hmm. And we would see different outcomes. The competitors that are winning.
But then you give people a chance to game plan and
right. But and it changes. Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
That's what I'm saying. I think it would change things. I think the smarter play. Like
less fatigue.
Yeah, dude, I think 100%. And this is and it's not just because I love him. I think Steven could have won the one that he was in. If you would have just changed that. I haven't talked to Steven about this. I haven't talked to those guys. But like he was like middle tier throughout the whole thing. But it's because he was trying to think about the game planning of it. And like his first day in there, he was like, if we goes all 10 minutes, we're gonna give our team points. So we're just gonna tap. Like they made that deal, right? And to give their team points. But then it turned out that the teams don't matter. So they was like, well, fuck. Like, I just gave up these points. Now I got to compete against those points to get in when I thought it was a team thing. And because originally they thought that if blue team wins, they all go to the finals and then they compete in those orders. But they changed it because they didn't want people gaming the system. So I truly think that if you would have spaced it out, because they gave Steven 3 tough-ass dudes on the same day, and he didn't have that time to recover or that time. So he had 3 hard matches, like the best dudes in the room at that time. And it changed the outcome. Like he lost to one of those guys that he probably wouldn't have lost to at all had he not been trying to conserve energy or save energy for the next match that he knew he had coming.
Would doing it that way, would time be longer? Would we go back to 10 minutes?
I don't know. I think they could. I don't see why not, because they were running.
Would it be EBI?
I think they should save EBI for. I think they should keep the point systems.
Okay, then what's overtime then? Oh,
no,
point.
I think they should keep like they doing now. Hold on.
So nobody gets a point after.
No, like so the PGF so if you get a break, it's 3 points. Yep. If you get a break in 4 minutes. In under 1 minute, it's 4 points. Mm-hmm. If you get a choke under 1 minute, it's 7 points. If you get a choke after that, it's 6 points, right?
Yes.
All right, yeah. So I think they should keep it the same way. And only the people that have enough points get to go into the finals. Yeah. And then they have the finals the way that they have the finals. Yeah. But I really think they missed the opportunity to run one match a day, maybe make them longer if they want. Yeah. They could make them longer and give out like more rewards or something. But I really think they missed an opportunity, dude, to like watch the type of jiu-jitsu that would come out if they're not worried about their next match. But on the other side, that's what makes it interesting is the fact that they know they have a next match and then they got to think mentally. It makes it harder.
They got to finesse it a little bit.
It makes it, it's like being in the Ultimate Fighter house. So I like it both. I'm not telling them to do it different. I'm just saying that it would change the outcome in a lot of ways. I'm pretty sure Steven would have won or at least been in the finale, in the finals. Like he was already in the finals, but it would have been him or one other guy in the end.
Well, they're looking for the top competitor, so that thing is just built for adversity.
And that's the thing, not just the top competitor, because I don't feel like the top competitor was in the finals. I think the guy who performed the best under stress and under all of those conditions with the right exact good lineup that he got ends up there, right? Like he didn't have to, like the guy that got the flowier path or whatever, that he didn't have 3 hard dudes in one day. Maybe he has 1 hard dude and 2 guys he could just mush on and shine on and get a highlight reel. Like, obviously, all of those guys are high-level competitors. If they're made it that far, they're all high-level competitors. But
it's levels.
There's levels. Yeah. And, like, if I'm in that thing and I know I got to go up against Steven, right? Or I got to go up against Hunter, or I know I got to go up against Calvin, or, like, any of those guys, right? Like Hunter Calvin or like with the bad guy, Elijah. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name, Elijah. But like, yeah, like if I got to go against one of those guys, it's like, damn, that's a hard role. That's going to be harder than some of the other roles. It's going to be harder than a few of those other guys. And it's like, if I got one of those guys that everybody's dunking on, it's like, no, I don't want to look past him, but at the same time, I'm not going to expend a lot of myself trying to, like, knowing that I got to go against Steven next, or knowing that I got to go against.
So how do you do that? Because you have that minute.
That's the point. That's what's changing everything. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that a lot of times the better guy doesn't go to the end because they game plan wrong, or they played their game wrong. Sometimes guys are stronger than what you thought, and you just got to go all out on them. What time is it?
We have 5 minutes until open mat starts.
Yeah, guys. I hope that some of you guys showed up for open mat. What do you think? What do you think the answer is? See, like,
there's not a scenario to where you can say, "Oh, he was just better at me than this." So I don't know. Back mount is that position to where, you know, if someone takes it, you can't fight with it. So there's always that generic notion of it. So I think that's the most dominant position. So I guess we'll stick with
what
back
about
mount.
you, Nate?
Man, it's like you said before. It's like you cannot have a system without somebody gaming the system. So I think, and it would make for like a boring mat or a boring event, but I think the only true way to do it is just the no time limit until somebody subs the other one, and just who can win. But then
they're still gonna game it.
Yeah.
How do you game that? Like,
defend.
Just make the other motherfucker tired. Just tired. And then when they get tired, they quit. They break. It's going to get gamed. I don't know if I completed my sentence, but I love the way Jay's doing it because it's one-offs. Yeah. But I also like the way that he's doing it with the one-offs with the 10 minutes, and it's a draw. I like both of those because it's bringing people out that don't normally compete.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are scared, and a lot of people don't want to run through 4 or 5 matches, and they're like, I can do 1 10-minute match versus 3 5-minute matches an hour apart. Like, I think it makes it better because, number one, we know almost exactly when we're going to compete.
Yeah.
Number two, it's one-off. I don't have to worry about anybody else, so I can go all out. Number three, I don't have to worry about giving up points and losing on some bullshit. I can play the game.
Yeah.
So I think what he's doing is awesome.
It's local.
And number 4 is local.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
And number 5, dude, you don't have to commit your whole weekend to the tournament, because like when you some of these things, if what?
Speaking of that, it's on a Sunday. Everybody's off.
Yeah, but like the last one, it was like 1, 2 o'clock, and we was done by what, 3, 4.
Oh man, yeah, it was.
I mean,
and we all went 8. We all went 8 at the whole house. It was good.
Yeah, and but the point on that was like you don't have these 15, 20-minute matches in 16-man brackets that you fighting through all day, that you have to commit being there from 8 till 6 or whatever.
Dude, even here at the Strange Matter Invitational or whatever, we run through the brackets that way, that fast, and it's just fun, and it's like fun, and we get to decide the winner of that. Speaking of that, we have a quintet. It's Jacksonville versus was that? I keep wanting to call it Orange County, but it's Orange Park, 10th Planet Orange Park, and Tect Center. We're gonna do 5v5. The kids are gonna get in there, so I'm excited about this. Awesome.
I'll be repping this weekend as well for the wrestling matches.
Where?
For South Georgia submissions.
Okay.
Oh, nice. I didn't even know that. Nope. I'm going to be commentating that thing, so I'm just going to talk shit about everybody. So y'all get ready. Like, do it. You suck. I'm just kidding.
You know how the ref slides across the mat?
And slaps.
Dude, it's going to be entertaining weekend.
I hope you just, like, jump in the air and, like just belly flop and, like, smack and, like, just slide underneath them and look. I'm gonna
RVD some flips.
Dude, I'm making a gif out of you if you do that. Swear to God.
I'm blowing us up.
Oh, man.
Well, our open mat started. Anything you want to finish the day with, Nate?
Not specifically. Just check out next weekend, next Sunday, South Georgia Submissions. We're gonna all be there. Come hang out with us. You see some jiu-jitsu, or if you can't hang out with us, can't make it, or whatever, check us out on Brandon McCathron's channel.
Ninja Brandon, what's it called?
I don't know, dude.
I'll look that thing up right now.
We'll share that thing. It'll be on all of our social medias. You'll see it floating around. But yeah, get ready and support the guys, man. Like if you got somebody competing that you know, like Jimmy and Wyatt said, some of these guys are like they've never competed before. Wyatt blue belts. So especially if you got like a team member, shoot them some love and support and stuff. And it takes a lot of guts to get out there with all those people and put it all on the line like that. So yeah, just shoot them guys some props. Watch you guys. It's gonna be great. Jimmy, anything you want to add, you or Wyatt, before we head down to open mats?
Yeah, man. Co-main event next weekend. I'll also be reffing a little bit, so fun time. I'm going to get Samuel Santos. So it should be a fun match. I got some stuff I want to show. I want some stuff I want to. I got some stuff that I want to. I want to bring out the light.
So he's from Globetrotters.
BJJ. So it's gonna be some fun. It's gonna. You're not gonna want to miss this. So
okay.
All right, so yeah, it's Brandon McCathron. That's just his. That's just his YouTube channel.
Okay,
and that's you'll find it on there. Also, shout out to the podcast sponsor. It's the only guy in town that can straighten the preacher's back out or straighten the preacher out. I always say that so wrong. He's gonna get mad at me. He's the only guy in town that can straighten the preacher out. It's what's the name of that place? Beard and Chiropractic Care right here in Eastman, Georgia. Just playing. It's Beard and Chiropractic Care here in Eastman, Georgia. They sponsor this show, so appreciate that. Shout out to them. If you need anything, he works with most of us athletes. He understands us at a different level than your average person. He's right here in Eastman, Georgia. He is really good with BJJ guys. Our entire school, almost everybody that trains here also goes and sees him. On top of that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys getting in here and stuff. We're going to be doing some remodeling and stuff up here. We're going to set it up so we can do our online university right up here in this spot. So this table is probably going to get smaller and stuff. But there's a lot of stuff coming up. We got South Georgia Submissions Sunday. Guys, be ready to tune in on Brandon McCathron's channel. The following week, we got what's going on the following week, Nate?
I thought I was trying to make sure you didn't miss it, but Steven's doing a seminar down at Thrive.
It's at
Jiu-Jitsu.
Thrive in Tifton, Georgia. So Stephen Aiken is, guys, if y'all have not been around 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu or any of that stuff, Stephen trained with Richie Martinez, Gio Martinez, Eddie Bravo for like 5 years. Like that's his lineage. It goes like Eddie, Richie, Steven. It's third generation. Like he's gonna be doing a seminar at Thrive Jiu-Jitsu in Tifton, Georgia, right here in Georgia. Don't miss that thing, man. Go show some support. Support Steven. Support Jiu-Jitsu. Period. These guys are traveling and trying to do that stuff. It's like support it. Show your support. Like these guys are bringing this good stuff to you. Show some support. So, and then the following weekend we got, well, I don't know if it's the following weekend, but on the 20th, we're having our 7-year anniversary. We've had the school here for 8 years, but it'll be our 7th anniversary, but open to the public. So it'll be this August 20th is our 7-year anniversary. It's an open mat. Everybody's just coming. We're probably going to have like a cooler full of water and
there's no food. Drinks. I ain't coming.
And Wyatt's going to be here. He's bringing the food. But that's on the 20th. Open mat again on the 20th. And we'll be celebrating our 7 years. And then the following weekend on the 27th, we're having a quintet. It's a Strange Matter. That'll be live on Coach Jimmy _Tech and And that's our announcements, man. Thank you guys so much for being a part of everything and tuning in and listening to us. I really, really want to talk more about the things that you guys think jiu-jitsu needs and heard and all that stuff.
Peace.
Yeah, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on next time.